It's Sunday, and you know what that means. Tell them, JFB.
We got jokes, we got news, and then, fellow maggots, we're gonna draft our ultimate, if you will, maggots, our ring generals of all time.
Hit the music, Zach.
Coming to you live from the FN Worldwide Media Studios, located in parts unknown.
It's the All Effin' Wrestling Show.
With your host, Canada Dry. In the JFB.
Tell me how it's priced. Tell me if the item is for sale. And tell me.
Ooh, good morning, afternoon. If I don't see you till later, good evening. Keep my supper warm. I am, of course, too sweet to be sour. Maggots, I am the JFB.
And I am, of course, the patron saint of all of professional wrestling. I am that gingered up, bubbly son of a bitch. My name is Canada Dry, and I'm just trying to be a better person.
You sound like Earl.
I am Earl. I got a list, and one by one, I'm going to make things right.
Heck yeah. What a great freaking show. I missed that show so much. It ended way too soon.
Yeah, they left it on a cliffhanger because it wasn't supposed to get canceled.
Yeah. Well, Greg Garcia, man, that guy puts on amazing shows. There's one called, it's on Freevee. It's on Amazon's free show, but it's about these guys who get out of prison because of COVID. And so they start scheming this new project, and it's actually a really good show. Garrett Dillahunt's in it, and he steals the show. Like, it's unbelievable.
Well, you'll have to send us a link later on.
I will put it in the show notes, by God. I will put it in the show notes. We are joined, of course, can't have a draft and talk about our ring generals unless we have the ring generals of AFW and of effing wrestling. And, of course, one of them is the man right there. It's Golden Graham. Say hey, Golden Graham.
What's up, guys? How we doing this fine Sunday morning / afternoon?
Woo, doing good. What's on the hat?
I mean, I was going to show it off. So I don't know how many of you don't know this, but I am actually a U.S. Marine, and I'm a combat veteran.
Awesome.
So I know a little thing or two about generals.
Badass.
It's very apropos that I'm on this show this week.
Did you meet the generals when you were in the Marines?
I met the Commandant of the Marine Corps, who was the highest ranking officer in the United States Marine Corps when I was in met him at a gym. He was showing off the new the new gym suits that we would be getting issued to us.
Nice. Look at this.
Did he call you a maggot?
No, he called me corporal. He called me by my rank.
Yeah, of course, I'm joined by, well, you can't hold it against him for being a Cincinnati Bengals fan. He is from Kentucky. My God, he's got the smoothest voice in all of podcast history. We are talking about the Evan expert, Mr. Isaac. Say hey.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I can't follow an actual bona fide Marine, though. Thank you for your service, Joe Graham.
Oh, thank you.
But yes, I am the effing expert, Mr. Isaacs, the American half of the Magic of Wrestling podcast, and one of the trio's world champions of Collision After Dark.
Hell yeah, Collision After Dark. Collision was good this week.
I was talking to Canada Drowsley. It's a shame there was no review show last night because last night was a damn good show.
It was a good show, but it was also, like we would have lost half our audience to SummerSlam.
Right? No, I understand that. I completely understand why there wasn't.
Yet. I got to go back and watch it. I haven't seen it yet.
Damn SummerSlam! I'm not even halfway through, and I can already tell you it's.
SummerSlam was a tale of two halves, let's say.
Yes.
Halfway
half of it was great, half of it was garbage. Yeah.
And if you watch Magic of Wrestling yesterday, you saw Mr. Isaacs at the end raise the bar on my own gimmick. It's like,
you tell.
So I'm gonna have to raise the bar myself at the end of the show.
I look forward to that.
Well, gentlemen, we are gathered here together about this thing called professional wrestling. We're going to start, of course. We got Alex Haney says Corporal Maggot.
Not quite. Not quite.
Leave it to him to leave it to him to be salty as fuck. Anyways, my God, we are live. So let's go into our whole rigmarole. And of course, that means we have to start with the news. From the four corners of the globe, from our studios to your home, this is FNN, the FN News Network, starring Canada Dry and the JFB. Oh my God, he's still here! Holy cow!
I was checking to see if I trimmed my nose hairs even.
Who left the back door of the studio open this time, guys?
It's our interns, man. They're like, "Oh, leave the back door open. The aligned one can see."
Yeah, so I'm here with the strange fact of the week. Once again, I'll take a sippy pull of my coffee and we'll get some facts straining into my brain here. Here we go. Caramba! Oh, yeah, that's good stuff.
Hell of a drink.
Oh. Well, all right. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Hit it.
All right. So I sent a picture to your JFB before the show. Can you please put it up?
Here we go right here.
So it says wood chopping block. Then it says, do not use for chopping. What the actual hell? What are you supposed to do? Is it just decoration? Look, I have a chopping block.
Look, hey, I figured it out, okay? It says manufactured in China.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're just supposed to put your Chinese food on top of it as a serving tray.
That or maybe just lost in translation. Who knows?
Yeah. Do not.
You hold it with your dim sum.
Sometimes these get lost in Chinese. Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Your bases belongs to us. That's all there is to it.
All right, I got a wedding to go to, so I'm gonna get the hell out of here.
Okay.
I invited you to a wedding.
Our strange facts are brought to you by FTW, Fight the World Wrestling. That's right. You want to learn how to be a professional wrestler. You've watched wrestling. You're sick and tired of sitting on the sidelines. You want to get in there, but you're like, where do I go to learn? How can I learn like some of the top NWA wrestlers? Well, it's pretty simple. Get in your car, and you're going to drive real fast to Tampa, Florida. You're going to park your car at FTW, and you are going to learn how to be a professional wrestler. $250 a month. That's it. Natalia Markova, she's the teacher. She's the head trainer. Brian Idol, he's the teacher. He's the head trainer. They are from the NWA. They are wrestling and making money, and you can too. So all you need to do is go to Fight the World Wrestling at ftwprowrestling.com. put in all your information, get a part-time job driving Uber, and then you can tell people while you're driving Uber, by the way, if someone was to attack us, I just learned how to do a drop kick. And you could protect your passengers from pirates and all kinds of other shenanigans. So ftwprowrestling.com, go to their schools, $250. You'll be highlighted. You'll learn from the best.
And while you're at it,
Yeah.
tell them effing wrestling sent you.
Yeah, tell him Canada Dry sent you. Say, there's this guy from Canada. He's Canada Dry. He sent me here. Oh, you got to pay $400.
You're not getting a discount knowing me, so
No discount.
just say effing wrestling.
Yeah. So here we go. Here's some of our news. It is official. All In has surpassed WrestleMania 3 as the largest attended show in pro wrestling history. They are over 78,000 bought tickets, not freebies, bought. And that is a huge, huge thing because it leads into All Out, which leads into the beginning of our new season 4 of AFW. So I'm excited about this. Like, I'm glad because AEW is not a secondary promotion. They were
And so that day, we are going to do an after show of All In.
I'm all for it.
We're not going to compete with all In, so we might as well go right after All In is over, and we'll talk about everything that went down that day.
We're not going to compete with All In because that play. And just think about this. There's only one match that's been 100% confirmed, and that's Adam Cole versus MJF for the AEW World's Heavyweight Belt. And they sold over 78,000.
Think about this. In WrestleMania 3, you sold on the back of Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's pretty much what helped sell everything.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it's pretty damn amazing that AEW seems to find a way to consistently beat themselves at their own game. You know, Dave Meltzer said, no way anybody outside of WWE can do 10,000 at a show. They had 14,000. Dave Meltzer said, Wembley Stadium is too big. They're not going to sell it out. Dave Meltzer, you're wrong. They sold it out, you stupid SOB. Whew.
I think AEW sometimes is a victim of its own goodness.
Yes.
It is. Definitely.
Yes, because like you raise the bar and then the show just goes down a little bit and you're like, bullshit.
Indeed. Guess who's coming back to WWE? Kairi Sane is looking at coming back to WWE sooner than later, right around, November. It's kind of dry. Are you happy? You sad? You kind of indifferent to Kairi Sane?
I'm a little indifferent about Kairi Sane. Like, it's cool if she's coming back for her own sake, but do I care? That's a big old no.
Yeah. Golden Graham?
Yeah, I heard she has like 2 more matches contracted out in Japan before she comes over.
Yeah.
I'll withhold judgment until we see what they actually do.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see her and Io Sky just rip each other apart.
Hey, throw Asuka in there. Just give us a 3-way like at the Rumble for the title.
Heck yeah. Now, you know what? Bring in another wrestler from Japan as a one-off and have a...
They're not going to do this. They're not going to have 3 Japanese, never 4. They won't do that.
Senior McMahon is probably going, my God.
You get 1 per show, bucko.
This isn't the IHOP. Evan Expert, your thoughts?
You know, I'm excited for it. I like Kairi Sane. I always thought she put on very good, solid matches. I like the big elbow drops she would do. She's really good. I'd be happy to see her back. I think she would add some value.
Yeah.
All I know is if she's back long enough for them to run another Mania at the Buccaneer Stadium, they better have her ziplining out of the ship, okay?
Yeah. I agree 100%. Monaco says, what were your thoughts on SummerSlam? I'm happy for Io Sky. I mean, I've only watched half of it. I didn't watch it live. Started watching it this morning. So far, okay. I like. I really am digging. Io Sky as women's champ. I think it'll be really interesting. Canada Dry. What did you think of SummerSlam?
I thought that Finn Balor should have won the title.
There you go.
I thought that the Cody Rhodes match was okay.
Yeah.
The first match was ridiculous. You knew that Logan Paul was going to win.
Yeah.
I like the little cheating to get, he didn't beat him straight up. So there's room to do this one again.
Yeah, absolutely. Golden Graham, your thoughts?
Oh, I think it was a tale of like two halves, really. Yeah. There was a lot of good stuff. Like my match of the night was Gunther and Drew McIntyre.
Oh, what a great match.
An amazing. Shocker. Those two had a good match for the Intercontinental title.
For those who didn't watch, who won the match?
Oh, Gunther. He's now 31 days short of breaking Honky Tonk Man's record.
Yep.
Which we all know he's going to do now.
So. No, Honky Tonk Man's going to stop him. He's going to come in here with the guitar and then the 1, 2, 3. Beautiful.
He's just going to come out with a jumpsuit.
Am I allowed to throw in my 2 cents about the main event, or is that a later talking point?
No, go right ahead, man. Add it on.
I think it's absolutely stupid what happened. It makes, from a storyline perspective, 0 sense. I don't want to hear, Jimmy and Jay won a match at WrestleMania. WrestleMania is 8 months away. They have plenty of time to build that without ruining what this story was supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely. F1 expert?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Joe here. There's things I really liked about SummerSlam. There's things I didn't like about SummerSlam. One thing we haven't mentioned, that god-awful MMA rules match.
Oh, God.
That was atrocious. And I'm sorry. I hope Ronda leaves. I hope she's gone because, I mean, she's absolutely terrible at this now. She was great when she first came in. Yeah, she's terrible. Logan Paul Ricochet, I thought was pretty good. Going through Drew McIntyre was great. Seth Rollins and Finn Balor was a really good match. I like that a lot. And the women's match, I was pretty impressed by that. I didn't like how the main event ended. I don't like Jimmy Uso going back heel.
Yeah.
It's just kind of ridiculous. Like, I mean, and the Roman Reigns saga just continues. Like, when is he ever going to get his comeuppance? Didn't happen in Mania. Didn't happen at SummerSlam. Are we looking at Mania next year now for a comeuppance?
It's the next Mania. It is.
Did you hear what Paul Heyman said?
No.
He said the Roman Reigns story is a saga, and we're only in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Oh, yeah.
So, by his analogy, we have another 6 years as Roman Reigns is champion.
Well, not necessarily, because if Cody wins the belt at Mania, you could have a short run by Cody and getting the title back.
Yeah.
I mean, are they going to do Cody and Roman again next Mania? I mean, I guess they may. I don't know where else they would go.
And my final thing is, like, it was like heavily like said that the rest of the NOI family was going to be there.
Yeah.
Where was everybody? Like, it was the same 4 as usual.
Yeah.
I keep thinking Rikishi's going to get involved at some point, but
that's what I thought too. He's been doing a lot on Twitter, or X as it's called now.
Yeah. I mean, 3 of his kids are involved with this storyline. Why wouldn't he be involved? So
exactly.
My God. Alex Haney says Stardom got a big shout out on WWE last night. That is true.
That is cool.
Noob is in the house. He says Kairi Sane coming back. She's because she's entertaining with Asuka. I agree with that. I like that tag team.
The Kabuki Warriors!
Maybe a better.
Monaco says she wants to see Sane versus Io or Asuka reunion with Sane. Noob says also Asuka's performance in the triple threat was bad in a terrible way because I think they were trying to get Asuka versus Io at WrestleMania 40 next year. Very well could be. MMA rules match was terrible. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz was better than that joke match last night. He wasn't.
Did you see that Logan, after his match, immediately got on a plane and he was at his brother's fight in Texas?
Yeah.
That's why he went on first, so he could
Like
get
2
out.
hours later. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's insane.
Can we stop doing worked MMA matches in pro wrestling, please? It's never good.
Yeah, it never turns out well. Yeah.
I'm all for like put them in a cage, like a Hell in a Cell with chainsaws and swords. Like if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right. Let there be a dismemberment or at least someone lose an arm. So Noob says, can we end the bloodline storyline because it's jumping the shark or better yet, jumping the Meg?
Jumping the Meg. That's one big shark. Have you seen the size of this thing?
It's huge. Megalodon. Just when you thought it was safe to watch Raw, no, it's not anymore. Wade Barrett, Michael Cole are coming back to Raw. Holy crap.
I don't know. They're better than Kevin Patrick and
Oh my God.
and Corey Graves.
I say it every week in the chat.
I love Wade Barrett's commentary. I think he's great.
Bad news for you.
I've got some bad news for you. I'm back on Raw.
Kevin Patrick is awful.
Yeah.
Barrett
Like,
was
can we
good
all
at the
agree with that?
NWA.
Yeah.
Like, Kevin Dunn has got to get over this like hard on he has for bringing outside broadcasters and trying to train them to be wrestling play-by-play guys, because it doesn't work. They always suck.
Exactly.
Mauro Ranallo was the only good one, and that's because he actually started in wrestling.
Yeah.
That moved on to other things, but everybody sucks at doing that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Everyone can't be Rick Abani.
No.
Yeah.
The Bone Zone.
Still no timeline for Big E's return to the ring, but there's a chance he could be a commentator until he's ready to wrestle. I'm looking forward to that. So Ricky Starks came out on a podcast, getting away from kayfabe. Ricky Starks says Punk is the last true superstar we have in professional wrestling. Canada Dry, your thoughts on that statement?
That's a huge that's a hot take for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Roman's pretty big. I think they did a good job building Roman.
Yeah.
I think Omega's kind of up there as a star.
Yeah.
So I gotta disagree with him.
Yeah. Effing expert.
There's certainly not as many as there used to be, but there's a handful of stars. I definitely think Roman Reigns is a star. I mean, Roman Reigns is a bigger star than CM Punk.
Yeah.
Nowadays. I mean, whether you want to admit that or not, it's just true. There's definitely a few stars out there. There's not as many as there used to be, because it seems as though now the brand is more important than the individuals, especially in the WWE.
Yep.
So they dilute the pool to where there's only maybe one superstar, one true superstar, and everybody else is just part of the brand.
Yeah.
So it's not as big as it used to be, like back in the day. But yeah, I definitely think there's at least a small handful of superstars remaining.
Yeah, absolutely. Golden Graham, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, we got Chris Jericho. He's literally a rock star.
I mean, he technically is. I mean, he's a platinum selling artist.
Yeah.
Everything pro wrestling. We have a viewer in the house. He says, "Yo."
Hey, welcome.
And also, can't forget about this guy.
Yeah.
Something, Cody Rhodes.
Is that Dolph Lundgren?
No, it's Cody.
I knew it was Cody.
But that face definitely looks like Dolph Lundgren.
I will break you in half.
So apparently there's a person in professional wrestling called Lufisto who claims that the women's roster in AEW hates each other. Several women have come out to dispute Lufisto's. And I'm sitting here going, are you going to take the word of a person who calls himself Lufisto?
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a He-Man character. You remember Fisto? You have the Iron Fist and you go poof.
Skeletor, this is my newest right-hand man, Lufisto. He's got like a gigantic hand.
That's what Fisto was. He was a good guy, but he had a metal hand.
Oh, God. Lufisto. Will it ever end? Steve Mongo McMichael is in intensive care. Wife is asking for prayers. I personally, it sucks. I mean, he is suffering greatly, and it really sucks to see him. I wasn't a huge fan of him as a professional wrestler. I liked him better on commentary than I did as a wrestler. Canada Dry, your thoughts really quick.
I'll talk a little bit about LuFisto for a second. So she deleted her Twitter X profile.
Yeah.
I guess you can't take the heat. Like you brought it on yourself.
Yeah.
Like, wow. But I legitimately think that there's someone that in AEW she was talking to.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few people that are always whiners in the back. They're not getting enough TV time. Oh, look, this Britt Baker's getting all the time.
Yeah.
And you're going to whine and bitch and moan, and that's just how it is wherever you go.
I'm going to say it's Tay Mello. Something comes across as Tay Mello is...
She's like, my baby should be the world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, exactly.
She's not talking about her husband.
Yeah.
Which one are we giving thoughts on, LuFisto or either one?
LuFisto or Mongo?
I'm with you. I liked Mongo as a personality.
Yeah.
I thought he was great as a commentator. He was really good on the microphone. The guy had a ton of charisma. He was kind of shit in the ring.
Yeah.
But he had a great look, and he was great on the mic. He did great on commentary.
Yeah.
As far as the LuFisto thing is concerned, I mean, only she knows the experience that she either experienced firsthand or heard secondhand through somebody else. I just don't want to see the situation where fans start jumping at her so intensely that we end up having another incident that we don't want. I just hope nothing like that happens. But, obviously, other women in the AEW locker room disagreed that this was happening. There's cliques in every locker room. There's cliques in every company, every break room in the nation. So, I mean, there's two sides to every story. I would just implore everybody, let's not push anybody to extremes here.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think everybody just needs to quiet down on all fronts.
Yeah, I agree. Golden Graham, your thoughts?
Okay, so first thing on the LuFisto is none of us are there. None of us know the real truth. So just chill out. They're like, you're doing more harm than good at this point. But for those of you that don't know, Mongo McMichael, he has ALS, which is a horrible, debilitating disease. So just send your thoughts and prayers to his family, to his wife. He looks real bad. Like, I saw a picture. He's unrecognizable compared to what you saw him in WCW. Like, it's a shame.
Yeah.
So
everything pro wrestling says, we don't know any of these people, and I think sometimes as fans we have to stay in our lane. I also don't think people should invalidate anyone else's experience if they were different than theirs. I mean, there's very much truth to that right there. Alex Haney says there's no bullying at the school statement. Sorry. This is clearly truth to it. I mean, we'll find out. I mean, a lot of the women in AEW coming out saying that that's not the case. But guess who was backstage at SummerSlam? Randy Orton. That's right. Now he's not. There's still no timetable for him to come back. But everybody said he looked in good spirits. He looked physically well. So Canada Dry, how excited are you to see that maybe we're getting close to a Randy Orton return?
I think Randy Orton will come back. I just want to see him at his best. We mentioned a little bit earlier Big E, and it's looking like he's not going to be able to make it back. He's looking at possibly retirement and being, living his best life. And like, if you can't live your best life, maybe it's time to call it a day on your wrestling career.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go with Mr. Isaacs.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be thrilled to see another Randy Orton run. I would. I think the shows could really use his star power at this point.
Yeah.
Because they're very top heavy with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, but we need to see some more on the undercard that's more interesting. And Randy Orton's interesting. He's over with the crowd, always has been. He can play the part of a heel. He can play the part of a face and do both very efficiently. So I want to see what he does coming back. I just hope that the health issues don't end up taking a toll on him. He is getting older. He's been around a long time. He's like the only one of that 2002 OVW class that's still kind of going hard at it.
Yeah.
So he needs to take it easy a little bit. But I'm happy to see another run.
Any thoughts on Big E?
Yeah, Big E with the neck situation and everything, that's incredibly difficult, especially with a man of his size. I'm a lot more worried about him. Hopefully he's okay, but I'd like to hear him on commentary because I think he's got a great personality. I think he's got more personality than Wade Barrett. I think he's got more personality than Corey Graves. I'd like to hear what he's got.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's be realistic. Taz got a second career just by being on commentary.
Yeah.
And was able to extend his career. So, Golden Graham, your thoughts?
I hope they listen to their doctors.
Yeah.
I know the old adage of you want to go out your way, but when you have major neck issues or major back issues and you're just literally one bad bump away from life-altering way of living, it's not worth it. And I understand they want to have their last match. I'd give nothing more than to see both those guys back in the ring.
Yeah.
But that's a very selfish statement on my half. We should all want what's best for them.
Yeah.
So
100.
I'm hoping that if Randy Orton retires, that his mustache will pick up the pace and will go ahead and continue the legacy of Randy Orton, because let's be honest, his body is broken down. It's not what he used to be, but that mustache is freaking glorious. I want to nestle up to it.
JFB,
yeah,
he could go out to goatee, and you can be the goatee brothers.
Yeah, damn right you could. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Grow that goatee, Randy, because that mustache is just
he's halfway there. He's just got that little bit left to go, and
it does make the face pop quite a bit for him.
Yeah. I'm gonna start a Twitter account. It's gonna be the musings of Randy Orton's mustache.
I love that you downloaded a picture just to show the mustache.
JFB loves this mustache so much he wants to take it out to dinner.
Yeah,
and caress its leg during a film. Yeah,
I'm gonna pick up the tab and I'm gonna take the mustache to Red Lobster, and I'm gonna pay for it. So.
Those damn chat.
And then maybe a hotel. Maybe I see where it goes.
Uber that
goes, man.
Look, I imagine JFB in that Wolverine meme where he's has a picture frame with the mustache in it.
Caressing
and
the picture,
slowly caressing it,
just looking at it and love.
In the full bodysuit.
One last piece of news. My God, Sheamus. That Irish bastard, if it's on his mind, he's going to say it. That's what makes him tops in my book. Sheamus says that coming out of Clash at the Castle with the momentum, and WWE wasted it. And how you go first?
Well, he also said, is quoted as saying, a number of superstars could have been in Roman's position and been elevated. So I think he's a Brett guy. So I think he's just kind of being like Brett, just saying what he wants. It's like, if Brett can say it, so can I. But yeah, I think that Sheamus is right. Sheamus is not being used to the level that he should be.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Isaacs, your thoughts?
I love Sheamus. I've been a fan of him for a long time. But he's really kind of come out of a shell a lot the past 3 or 4 years. It seems like since around the pandemic time, he started doing his best work in the ring. I'm a fan of him, and I like the fact that he's outspoken. He's a man's man. I'm not sure I agree with him that several people could be in Roman Reigns' spot right now. But, more power to him. I like him. I like his drive. I like his intensity. I'm a fan of him. I like Sheamus.
Well, the thing about the Roman spot is you don't know unless you get the opportunity.
Yeah,
that's
true. A lot
of
people don't get that. Roman gets opportunity after opportunity. They just okay, and eventually you get it.
Yeah.
To add to that quote, he also said that a lot of people could benefit from the effort of storytelling that Roman is getting right now.
Yeah,
he's right about that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, that's our news. Of course, we don't go into our main event just yet because we have a little something called the joke of the week. Let's play it.
Yes.
Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart. Every day, people are mocked because they feel that dad jokes are the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. That's messed up. I believe that no one should have to fight for their humor. It's okay to dad joke.
I mean, straight from the greatest Canadian wrestler's mouth is Rich Southwood, our resident jokester reviewer, with our joke of the week.
Hello, one and all. This is your Lord Rich Southwood with your official joke of the week. Where do pirates get their hooks at? Secondhand stores. Thanks a lot, everyone. We'll see you next week.
You know, Rich, we're lucky Bret Hart said it's okay to dad joke because that was a dad joke.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it
was,
was.
that was a dad joke.
that was a father of 8 kids joke.
And one on the way.
That was a Nick Cannon joke. Is what that
Yeah.
was.
Oh, Nick Cannon, him and his 57 kids. Oh, man. All right. Can't beat that. Secondhand story. Can't beat that. Go on that t-shirt. All right, let's get to our main event.
Gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
All right, Maggots. It's time for you to start drafting. The draft is open. It's time for you to select your ring generals. Now, we're going to go in circular order. And first up is, of course, the Podfather himself. Ken the Dry. Who is your first pick?
We can just skip this. We know who he's saying.
Before we go, before we get these picks in, I just want to remind everyone that this is not about promos.
Nope.
This isn't about looks.
Nope.
This is just about in the ring. Now, a safe wrestler, a storyteller, ring psychology, and realistic is what we're all looking for in a ring general.
Yeah.
And of course, I would like to draft the one and only. No, not drafting him. I'm drafting Bret the Hitman Hart because he qualifies in all these things.
Yep.
Yes, he's got the looks. Yes, I do think that he's underrated on the mic, but he's safe. He takes command of the ring. Storytelling, I don't think there's anyone better than Bret Hart as a storyteller in the ring. From the time that the bell rings, no matter who it is he's going against, he still tells a story. And ring psychology, who's better than Bret?
Nobody. Nobody at all. F an expert. Who is your first selection, Maggot?
My first selection in the 2023 Ring General Draft is Bryan Danielson.
Ooh, Bryan
That's a
Danielson.
good pick. Good pick.
Bryan Danielson is just a notch below Bret Hart, but he is the most technical wrestler of this past decade or two, by far, at least the past decade. Safe in the ring, brings out the best in everybody. The best Roman Reigns match ever was against Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Or none. He just brings out the best in everybody. Super safe, super technical, super fun to watch. He's my number one.
Okay. Golden Graham, former Marine.
Okay, so my first pick, I mean, the guy has the name Ring General in his name. It's
Yes.
Gunther.
Gunther.
Like, the guy can sit there and have a great match with everyone from Sheamus to the small guys like Tyler Bate and
What?
if you see his work in NXT UK alone, I mean, it's ridiculous. And like just his work ethic is like in WWE second to none.
Yeah, absolutely. Whew, man, all three of those are really good. I don't even know how I would even stack up against it other than going to a guy who could generate heat in a way that no other human being could generate. No, I'm not talking about Dominic Mysterio or Don Callis. I am talking about a man who got true heat, and that's Roddy Piper. That man could take a comatose nun and she would wake up and start cursing him. That's how awesome he was. I mean, there's just nobody like Piper in terms of just a pure, unadulterated heel. And like, even when he was a good guy, he wasn't really a good guy. He was still a heel. He was just heelish. He wasn't a full heel, but he was just heelish. So that's who I'm going with. I'm going with Roddy Piper. So let's go to our second round, and we're going to talk about the effing expert. Who is your next pick?
My number 2 pick in the Ring General 2023 draft is a man who made a lot of people look great back in the day. Always very solid. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Ooh. Oh, that's a solid pick.
Perfect technician in the ring. Had the best Randy Savage match ever. Arguably the best Ric Flair match ever. Had a great match with a young strapping lad named Stunning Steve Austin.
Yep.
That arguably is one of the best matches ever in WCW's history. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, the consummate babyface.
And he put over Ricky Starks last night. It just seems like that in
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah. I mean, you can't deny the fact that, Ricky Steamboat, man, him and a few others have never been a heel in their entire career. And like, that's just unheard of, So let's go with Joseph Graham, JG, GM Joe. What is your pick?
So this one, curious as to what you all think. I imagine you'll agree, but I'm going to give the shout out to Mr. Arn Anderson.
Okay.
Wow.
He was on my list.
Yeah. I am proud to say that I made a very extensive list, and every name we have drafted so far has been on my list. So it makes me feel like confident that I have a good list. But I just, besides like the obvious ones, like your Bretts and everything, like Arn Anderson, like he was a tag team specialist.
Yeah.
Before that, he's like the most, when I think of NWA television champion, I think of Arn Anderson.
Yeah.
So
that silver belt.
Yes.
I think of Arn when I see that.
Yeah.
Yep. Silver belt with the red strap. You can't beat that. I mean, he was just freaking amazing. God, he was amazing.
I think he could have done a really good singles run if it wasn't for how good they were as a tag team.
Absolutely.
Was there a freaking Tully and his drug issues? Who knows how long we could have seen Arn Anderson in WWE? So I'm going to go with someone who maybe wasn't always necessarily the safest. Being from ECW, how safe technically can you really get? I mean, the man crucified another man in the middle of the ring, which is the reason why we have Kurt Angle in WWE and not in ECW. But his storytelling and his ring psychology, but is only superseded by his mind for the business and how to book a match, how a match flow should work. And that's going to be Raven. Raven is just he's like this guy that's 7'7", and he gets drafted and he's from like a small country nobody's ever heard of. And they're like, how good can this guy be? And then he just dominates. Like Akeem Olajuwon. I mean, nobody knew who Akeem was when he went to University of Houston. And even then, he was second banana to Clyde Drexler, and he still overshadowed everybody how good Hakeem Olajuwon was. So that's who I'm going with. I'm going with my man Raven. So Canada Dry, who's your next pick?
I'm really surprised at the Raven pick. It's a little off the board, but
Yep.
I like it. Canada Dry Enterprises is proud to select from the WWE Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
Randy the Macho Man Savage.
Ooh, Savage. Good one.
Macho Man Savage. What can you say about this guy? You know, he had great matches with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Bret Hart, you name it. Like, I think when they put the belt on Savage, I think that was a nod to how good Randy was as a wrestler.
Oh yeah.
He was as good as anyone at that time.
Well, he was protective of his persona as well. I mean, this wasn't a guy who, you know, took everything for granted. I mean, he protected the Macho Man character as good as he possibly could. Great freaking pick, man. That is really good. I like that. I like that a lot. So now we go to our third round. We're gonna go with the GM Joe, the greatest Marine to ever grace our presence. Who is your pick for round number 3?
So my third pick, we're gonna make this sweet. I'm taking Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle can't beat it.
I mean, the guy is one of the best technical wrestlers I've ever seen. I really wish we could have seen him and some of these guys on this list. Like, they just would have put on clinics.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's had a better rookie year than him. Like,
oh no.
And that's him as a rookie sitting there just going at it with the biggest names in the sport at the time.
I'm going to pose a question to all 4 of you guys with the Kurt Angle. Gable Stevenson, obviously, he is a NCAA world champion. He is a gold medalist. But there's something different about him. He doesn't have that, I don't know what it is, that he doesn't have that je ne sais quoi that Kurt Angle had coming into it. And so my question is this: would Gable Stevenson be better off if Kurt Angle was in his corner? Canada Dry.
Absolutely. Because, like, he's Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's something that cannot be taught.
Yeah.
Like, you can't teach say, Kurt Angle, teach me to be like you. It's just not possible. If you watch enough Kurt Angle matches, you watch enough of his promos, you can start to become a little bit like him, but you're still not Kurt Angle. So
yeah.
I think that the answer is yes and no.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Isaacs, what are your thoughts?
I agree with what Aaron said there. I mean, I think using Kurt Angle as a mouthpiece would definitely help him. But Kurt Angle was an anomaly.
Yeah.
Like, you're just not going to find many guys. I mean, and look at, obviously Kurt Angle is a shoot wrestler, but look at all the MMA fighters they bring in to wrestle, and they suck.
Yeah.
I mean, just because you're good as a shoot doesn't mean you're automatically going to be great at a work.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle's an anomaly. Like, Kurt Angle is him because he's Kurt Angle, not because he was an Olympic gold medalist wrestler. Exactly. So I don't think Gable is going to reach that. But then again, the guy's only had one match, so let's wait and see how it goes before we cast too many stones at him.
Yeah, exactly. Golden Graham, your thoughts?
I'm gonna say no. They tried this before with Jason Jordan.
Yeah.
The fans turned on Jason Jordan in a heartbeat. It did not work.
That's true. Yeah.
And I think Gable Stevenson would be 10 times worse. Because
they made Gable. They made Jason Jordan the son.
Yeah. Like, well, I mean, not just that, but like to me, Jason Jordan is 10 times more athletic and talented than Gable Stevenson is right now.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
If anything, Angle needs to come back and be with Chad Gable. That's what I want.
They
would put on some comedy gold.
Oh God, yeah.
Could you imagine if they revealed like Kurt Angle to be the head trainer of Gable Academy of his school, his kayfabe school? Like,
okay. I'm digging it. All right, so now for my third pick. Man, this is tough because I got so many freaking.
So do I.
I got so many awesome, just ready to be spewed out, but I am going to go with. I'm going to go with Scott Hall. That man, what he was able to do, let alone do it in the throes of a full-on drug addiction and alcohol addiction, that man was smart. The whole ideology for the NWO really germed with Scott Hall. Scott Hall was kind of the one who put down the foundation, and Bischoff built off of it. Same with the Razor Ramon character. The ladder match, him and Bret Hart both came up with the idea. Bret came up with it first, and Scott was the one who sold it. And so, yeah, I mean, for me, Scott Hall is just, it sucks he's no longer with us, and it sucked that, his career was cut short because of addiction. But my God, that guy had a mind for the business, and he was safe. I mean, you don't hear people going, I was mortally wounded by Scott Hall doing a razor's edge on me. So,
except for that guy in the strip club.
Yeah, except for that guy in the strip club. Exactly.
He deserved
He
it.
had it coming.
He was mortally wounded by Scott Hall.
He had it coming. He
wasn't a wrestler, though, and that wasn't in the ring, so it doesn't count for this list.
Yeah. Does not count. Canada Dry, who's your next pick?
Well, I got to do my third one.
Oh,
You're last this round.
Yeah, you're last this round.
Oh, I thought Canada Dry went
No, I went first.
You went
Then it
first.
was
Okay,
JFB.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right. Canada Dry Enterprises is proud to select from the Owen Hart Foundation. Whoa! Owen Hart.
Yeah.
Martha Hart.
Yes. Owen Hart. What can you say? This guy, arguably more talented than Bret.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say he's a better ring general, but he definitely could do things in the ring that was ages and ages before his time. Like people are doing things now that Owen was doing way back then. Yeah. And to me, he was safe. He had that storytelling. Some of his matches with Bret Hart are still standing up today. So those are masterful pieces of art that will always stand out.
Absolutely. I'll disagree with you on him. He was a ring general. And if you need proof, look at the tag matches he had with Coco Beware.
No, I'm not saying he wasn't a ring general. I'm just saying he wasn't up as high as Bret. But
yeah, like he could control a match. I mean, he knew how to run a match like start to finish. Let's go with Mr. Expert to close off the third round.
Yes. So my third pick is The Undertaker.
Ooh, Undertaker. I like it.
Oh, controversial pick.
Controversial? Okay. Because, he was obviously the leader of the locker room, and he was the guy that everybody trusted to have a good main event match. And a lot of the greatest matches, particularly of the 2000s, were from The Undertaker.
Yeah.
He just had such a commanding presence in the ring, and everybody respected him so much that he just brought out the best in everybody he was in the ring with until he got to his later years. And, those last couple of Manias really fell off. But if you look at prime Taker, like in the mid 2000s, when I feel like he was in his in-ring prime, those two matches with Shawn Michaels, the matches he had with Flair, the Triple H matches, the Hell in a Cell,
the Punk match.
He had some great matches, and that's why he's on my list.
I know Alex Haney would disagree with you on this one. About
well, he's welcome to disagree.
As I don't think he thinks that Undertaker was that great of a wrestler.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with Taker. You can't go wrong with Taker. So for those who tuned in a little bit later, this is we're drafting our ring generals. Here's a rundown really quickly. Canada Dry, he selected Bret Hart. First pick, not a shocker. Not a shocker at all. We knew he was going off the board pretty quickly.
Well, if I didn't pick him, you knew that Jeremy would have.
I would have, yeah.
Owen, and then you got Macho Man Randy Savage. Let's go to the effing expert. The effing expert has Steamboat, The Undertaker, and Bryan Danielson. GM Joe, he has Walter / Gunther. I just refuse to use the word Gunther. It just sounds like a big fat German kid who's eating like a gigantic lollipop. And he's like, I am Gunther. This is my lolly.
I am a ring general.
He picked Arn Anderson and he picked Kurt Angle. So let's go to our next round. In Canada Dry, I'm gonna go with you first.
It's my pick again. I just picked, didn't I?
No. I mean, technically, should be JFB's first.
Yes, that's what I think.
All right. This was a tough one. I was debating, and I didn't know which way to really go, and so I decided I'm going to go with a guy who not only wrestled but started his own promotion. And that guy is Antonio Inoki. He created New Japan Pro Wrestling. Him and Giant Baba, of course, were part of All Japan. They had a disagreement. Antonio Inoki went a different route, started New Japan Pro Wrestling, and now we have shows like Forbidden Door, Bullet Club, one of the top-selling merch items of all time. He epitomized and he really dictated New Japan's strong style. You know, if you watch from 72, it's pretty brutal. Like there's no laying back. It's shoot wrestling at its purest. And then eventually, as Jado and Grado or Gato start taking over booking decisions, did it become a little bit more like Memphis wrestling than it did two guys in the middle of the ring beating the living hell out of each other? But that's who I'm going with. I'm going with Antonio Inoki because, I mean, without him, who knows what Japanese wrestling would be? And there are better Japanese promotions. Noah is fantastic. All Japan is really good. But you can't beat the original. You can't beat the 1972 debut of New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, with that being said, I'm going to go with my boy Canada Dry. Canada Dry, who is your next pick?
Canada Dry Enterprises is proud to select from AEW Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega.
Omega could have easily gone already on this list.
Yeah.
He is one hell of a performer.
Yeah.
You look at that knee to the face that he does to everyone. They're fine at the end of this.
Yeah.
Like that knee looks killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they like and that Triga Driver 92 that he took did it in such a way that it looks so real, but his shoulder took the brunt of it. So like as far as safe, realistic psychology, I love Kenny Omega.
Yeah. That quick dragon suplex that he does is just freaking brutal. I mean, just the way he just massively, just quickly throws them right on their back of their head. But it's the shoulders, like it you know, he lands them perfectly, so it's not going to take any unnecessary action against him. So and hurt his opponent. So great freaking pick, dude. That was awesome. Let's go to Mr. Isaacs.
Well, I'm going to take it back to Japan here.
Yeah.
Because my next pick is Kazuchika Okada.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, Okada is the guy for like the past decade that has had all the really good top level, elite level matches in New Japan, including the trilogy with the aforementioned Kenny Omega, which are some of the greatest matches you'll ever see. This guy and Danielson, to me, are interchangeable as 1 and 2 best in the world and have been for the past decade.
Yeah. Great freaking pick. Great freaking pick. Golden Graham, your turn.
Okay, so this is a personal pick. I mean, and I would put this up if he just had the second half of his career. And I'm taking Shawn Michaels. Like
Shawn Michaels, okay.
Like you look at the first is riddled with controversy, undeniable. Lots of drug use, lots of the Montreal screw job. But when he comes back, starting with that first match with Triple H, that street fight at SummerSlam, to go through and then go with Jericho, Angle, Shawn, Cena, like the list goes on. And then Taker, like the matches that he's had, like I could rewatch them over and over again. They're so good.
Yep. Absolutely. I agree with it 100%. That's
the comment by Alex Haney. He disagrees with me on Omega being no in-ring psychology.
I see you got the angry reaction from him, not me.
He doesn't like anything about AEW really, so I don't.
No, that's not true at all. That's not true at all. No, he likes AEW. He picks and chooses what he likes.
Yeah. He's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, it's funny though, because when you get him on one of these shows, like he's very complimentary of AEW.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Like Haney could be a whole docu-series on his own.
It's a tale of two Haneys. There's Chat Haney and Show Haney.
Probably reword that. Show Haney sounds a little risque.
Sounds a little too much like Show Haney, right? Yeah. It's a PG show here, Joe Graham.
I know. You're the one saying it, not me.
There are things we do not want to see, and Naked Handy is one of them. All right, let's go to our next round, Canada Dry. You lead it off. Go first, my brother.
Is it 5? We're round 5?
Yeah, round 5.
Last pick.
For my last pick, I am
Oh no.
For my last pick, I am selecting from the WWE Hall of Fame, Latino Heat, Eddie Guerrero.
Good pick.
This guy can put on a show and make anyone look good. Just
very true.
Just even before he was in WWE, in WCW, he was amazing. Just putting on match after match after match.
Yeah,
for the U.S. title, for the TV title,
title.
Eddie Guerrero when he won the world title, amazing. So this guy is an in-ring general.
Yeah, absolutely. Great freaking pick. You can't go wrong with that. I mean, he's on mostly everyone's Mount Rushmore for what he's been able to do. Because, I mean, let's not forget, too, he was fired from WWE and then came back. He was fired and came back and was even better than what he was on his initial run with WWE. Like, that says a lot about a guy. Because he could have just been pissy about this and just been like, yeah, whatever, I'm just going to show up, collect my check, and leave. So
I'm really curious to see what your guys' last picks are.
Oh, I got a doozy.
It's the last chance for romance here. So
I'm going way off the reservation on mine. Mr. Isaacs, your turn.
For my final pick in the 2023 Ring General Draft, I am choosing a man of many nicknames over the years, Chris Jericho.
Jericho, yes.
Jericho has commanded a presence in the ring and has helped to build so many guys over 20 to 30 some years, whether it's in WCW in the Cruiserweight division, moving on to WWE, working in the mid-card, working in the main event. I mean, the guy has done it all. Even in AEW now, we see. You know, he's been at the top of AEW. He's been elevating younger guys. You can tell that he brings out the best in whoever he's in the ring with and elevates them and makes them better. His psychology is off the charts. I mean, the guy knows what he's doing when he's in the ring. He can improvise on the spot. He's just great. Jericho, to me, epitomizes a ring general, so he's closing it out for me.
All right.
Yeah, you think like because of Jericho's last couple of years in the business, it kind of hurts him on the list because his body of work is just so like it's like the list of Jericho. It's so long.
Yeah.
But I think
absolutely.
the reason why he got picked last rather than he would have like maybe a couple of years ago been higher up on the list.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He would have been higher up if he had, not tapered off a little bit over the past couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely. Joseph Graham, lay it on us, brother.
So for my last pick, I'm going to Japan, but I'm taking Hiroshi Tanahashi, the man who literally carried New Japan on his back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like, and even now, 70% Tanahashi is still better than most people today. I mean, just look at the match that he had with MJF at Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I don't know what else to say. I mean,
he's great, definitely.
I mean, there's a reason why they call him the Ace.
So who are we talking about, Alex? Who are we marrying? Is it Omega still?
He's like, oh, you like Kenny Omega so much? Why don't you marry him?
What's crazy is I still have so many more names on my list that we could keep
going
with.
I got buttloads.
I've
Buttloads
got a
of
humongous
names, my
list.
friend.
Yeah.
Buttloads of names.
And for JFB's last pick, Barry Horowitz. No, just kidding.
I'm going with the Repo Man.
Duke the Dumpster Josie.
Good old Barry Darso.
Brawler. Brooklyn Brawler.
Brooklyn Brawler. Who's not
I'm
even
going with David Flair.
He's from the Bronx. Calls himself the Brooklyn.
I'm interested in this off the reservation pick that you have, JFB.
There are so many ways I could have gone with this. I could have gone Dusty. I could have gone Jushin Thunder Liger. I could have gone Bill Watts. I mean, like, the list is so long, but as much as I do not like this man, as much as I don't like this gentleman with his pencil black mustache and his disregard for sexual misconduct in the workplace, I'm going with Vince McMahon. Vincent Candy McMahon. And here's the reason.
A wrestler?
As a ring general?
As a ring general. Here's the reason why. He did wrestle. The man tore both quads wrestling. But I give him this nod because he went ahead and saw what the future of wrestling was way beyond guys like Ted Turner, Bill Watts, and Jerry Lawler, and all these guys that own promotions. He saw the ability of taking professional wrestling and making it 150% a global entertainment product. That's exactly what he did.
Okay, I'm going to add one more round to this.
Okay.
This time it's going to be a female.
Okay.
Who's going to go first?
That's fine.
Okay.
So I'm going with Vincent Kennedy McMahon just because we owe a debt. You don't have to like him, but you have to owe a debt to the fact that wrestling is where it is today. Love it or hate it because of Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Vince Jr., if you will. So let's go to the effing expert.
All right. The impromptu women's round here. I like it. Okay. Well, since I got the first pick here, I am going to go with Charlotte Flair.
Okay.
Whoa.
And I know that's probably going to be controversial because people are sick of her. But if you think about her strictly in her prime, she had a commanding presence. Yeah. She put on amazing matches, especially when she was in NXT with the other four horsewomen.
Yeah.
She was the top of her game. Ring psychology, off the charts. She's amazing, whether anybody wants to admit it or not. And I think out of all the ring general women, I would have to put her up at the top.
My only beef with Charlotte is she's not that great at selling, and that's half the job.
Yeah.
I think she's all right at it.
Yeah. Okay. Golden Graham, who's your special lady friend?
I'm going with Serena Deeb.
Oh, nice.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
Like, she's great, and she does a lot for the AEW women's division. I don't know. I wish she was on screen more personally. I love watching her wrestle.
Yeah.
So yeah, like she was literally the first woman that for me that came to mind when we were talking about ring generals for females. Yeah. So,
man, it's not my turn. This is a tough one, but I'm gonna go with Medusa. That's a
good choice. That's a good choice.
And here's the reason why. Medusa just has a presence about her. Whether she wrestled as a Lunger Braze, whether it was Medusa, look at her matches with Bull Nagano in the 80s and early 90s were just better than some of the men that programs, and they were only wrestling 3-4 minutes. These guys were getting 15 minutes for match time, and she took that 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes and made it look like it was gold, period. And to me, Medusa, we wouldn't have women's wrestling if it wasn't for Medusa and what she was able to do. So Canada Dry, finish it off.
I'm going off the board here. As you know, I'm very loyal. I pick Bret Hart every time.
Yeah.
And I'm very loyal. But I'm not loyal just for the sake of loyalty. I'm loyal because they're good.
Yeah.
And I know what I see is true. So from the NWA, I select Natalia Markova.
Woo!
This woman can do it all. Like,
oh,
she deserves to be in AEW. She deserves the spotlight. And why she's not given it yet, I don't know. But she's damn good.
I will agree with you. I agree with so much. Even this guy agrees with you.
Yeah, dig it. Yeah.
Macho Man agrees. When you get Macho Man to agree,
Yeah.
you know you've done well. My God. Well, let's tally it up. Here's where we go. Canada Dry drafted Bret. He drafted Owen. He drafted Kenny Omega, Randy Savage, Eddie Guerrero, and Natalia Markova, which were all freaking amazing. And Alex Haney says, I can't believe no Fit Finley or Regal. Shocker. I will have you know, Regal was on my list. It was on my list. I just didn't get to it because I thought we'd have more time, but we didn't.
If we did like the mid-card level ring generals, I think those two guys would be more apt to show up.
Yeah, it's hard to put when you don't get the world title and you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Joseph Graham, he started out with Gunther, or as I call him, Walter. He added Shawn Michaels. He went ahead and added Arn Anderson, Kurt Angle, Tanahashi, and Serena Deeb. Our resident expert, Mr. Isaacs, he went with Jericho. He went with Charlotte Flair. He went with Bryan Danielson, Steamboat, Undertaker, and Okada. And JFB, of course, he went kind of all over the place. Raven, Scott Hall, Roddy Piper, Antonio Inoki, and I went with Medusa as my thing, and Vince McMahon as a ring general.
I would happily go against JFB's team because they would get their ass whooped.
I don't know, man.
Put Vince in there.
WWE rules.
He was ECW world champion, guys.
He was WWF champion.
That's true. That's true.
I kind of forgot about that. I just remember with the do-rag being the ECW champion.
Vince, he's so freaking. Guys, that's our show. Holy cow.
Can I take Kaney's comment down?
We had a great show. This was awesome. And there are so many other names on here. I smell part 2, part 3, part 12, part 14. Like, it's just going to keep happening.
I had a pretty big list.
Yeah. As we go further along, young guys are going to start becoming ring generals, and it'll be exciting. Like Austin Theory has the chance of being a great ring general. So, Canada Dry, what's on our list for today or for the rest of this week?
We of course we have an interview with the Magic of Wrestling on Thursday. We have, of course, we're back on After Dark. We got Dynamite After Dark on Wednesday. That was with Joseph Graham, myself, you, and Brian Hinton. And of course, on Saturday's Collision After Dark, The Garage, we have Jeremy Isaacs, myself, and you, and possibly a member of the line. The line is flying, Blake Lister. The line is fine.
A line is fine. The line are not fine.
Did you see they all had that shirt? The line is fine.
Yeah, they also had the Professor Caleb Bain shirt as well.
Amazing.
I saw
all
Caleb
of them. There's
Bain
like 5 or
shirt,
6 of them.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of money on T-shirts.
We're
There
not
are far
complaining
worse
at all.
things to spend your money on than T-shirts. Okay.
Yeah.
Then what are we going to do on Sunday?
I'm thinking we're gonna do Talking to Ducks.
Okay.
And Talking to Ducks is the thing that happened when Liam was on a date. And so what we're going to do is Liam is going to have to guess. We're going to hear two lies and a truth.
Okay.
And he's going to have to decipher. We're going to have a couple rounds of this. He's going to decipher who is telling the truth and who's telling a lie. And he's going to be able to ask them a few questions each to decipher. I think he gets like 5 questions per person, I think.
Okay.
Fascinating.
I like it. You can't
Yeah.
beat Sundays, man. Anytime that we can have shenanigans, I am all for it. I am the king of shenanigans.
So you'll be the host of the show, and as always, Liam will always be the contestant on Talking to Ducks.
Yes. All right. So, guys, you're wondering how in the world do I get in touch with you guys?
Is Haney's comment stuck there?
It is. We'll take it
It's
off.
frozen.
We'll take it off.
Oh, more Haney. There we go.
We'll take it off. There we go. Yep. There we go. So one of those mornings. So you're wondering how you can get in touch with us. Well, you can look right beneath you, and you can go to all our social media sites are in our description below on youtube.com/FN Wrestling, where you can click like and subscribe. You can also go to FNWrestling.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom. But the cool thing about YouTube is we've included tiers, because the best way to support us, the best way to get new guests on here, because guys, girls like Natalia Markova and Brian Idol and everybody else, they don't do this for free. They want to get paid for appearing on podcasts. And the only way we can do that is through the generosity of you guys. So subscribe to the platform, $5, $10, $25, $45, whatever you can afford on a monthly basis.
And if you want to just give a one-time gift, our PayPal is in the link.
Yeah, PayPal's in the link. Give us a one-time shoot, and then you're like, well, what else can I do to further support the show? And I want to tell people, well, you don't have to tell people. You can just show them. Show them the shirt that you want to wear, the All Effin' Wrestling shirt, the Effin' Wrestling Owen Hart Winged Angel. All you need to do is you need to just get on your computer, do what the cat does.
Is this how you type?
That's how I type. Like cat. And then you're going to go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Effin' Wrestling, where you can click like and subscribe. And you can get these shirts, like, say, the All Effin' Wrestling shirt worn by Natalia Markova. Or maybe the middle fingers just by themselves, worn by Natalia Markova. Maybe you want to get the Kool-Aid shirt. Maybe you want to get the Brie Mode shirt, because that just came out. And not only is it really cool, it is double-sided. It says Brie Mode with the AFW logo on the back. It says killing them with kindness. Go show your support, because I think we should have an official Brie Crush Club.
Yes.
We have to wear those shirts. That's the only way that we can.
The BCC, not with the one with John Moxley. The one with Brie.
Yeah.
Brie Crush Club.
We got to get Caleb to model that one.
So now you're wondering, do I like old school wrestling? Well, we're going to answer that for you. You better like old school wrestling, because if you don't, then you can't get this great shirt of Adrian Adonis, the adorable Adrian Adonis tee at ProWrestlingTees.com/Adrian Adonis, where you can get all of your Adrian Adonis gear. Whew, man. That's a lot. That's a lot of rigmarole. But my God, that's the way you can support it. So I'm going to go out today. Got to go buy a couple of things. I'm going to wear my All Effing Wrestling shirt. I'm going to look cool as hell. People are going to be like, what's the All Effing Wrestling show? And I'm going to grab them by the shirt and say, you just need to tune in, brother. And then I'm going to give them an atomic leg drop, because that's how legit.
I got a new subscriber on the bus this week from wearing my CM Punk shirt. I wasn't even wearing that.
There you go. I'm telling you, it's there.
Wrestling fans are out there. We just got to let them know we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's the same as when you're walking in a supermarket and you're checking out the milk, and you look over and there's a guy looking at the eggs, and you both turn and look at each other, and you realize, holy shit, he's wearing either a pro wrestling or a heavy metal tee. And all of a sudden you have that connection. That's what it's about. It's about connecting with people through wrestling. And the only way to do that is by wearing wrestling shirts. That's all there is to it. So, on behalf of the Golden Graham, Canada Dry, the effing expert, Mr. Isaacs, I am the JFB.
So in closing, sometimes life is hard, and we need to support each other. We need to lift each other up. Sometimes we suffer some setbacks in this life, and when you're down and you're out, reach out to your friends, and they will lift you back up. And once you're standing on your own 2 feet, you have to remember to just keep fighting.
You look like Jake Paul. Make yourself look good. Just keep fighting. All right, hit it.
This has been an effing worldwide media production. You can find us on all social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and others. Head over to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/effing wrestling. And while you're there, click like and subscribe. Want some swag? Head to our store at ProWrestlingTees.com/effing wrestling. You can find all these links and much more at our awesome website, effingwrestling.com. As the JFB always says, you can book it.
You gotta kill